Chapter 26. Some has asked me if I had any musical training, and whenever someone asks me this, I always stress that if I had any formal training in this context, I would probably not have been able to make any music at all. Or if I had been able to, it would not have been any different from other music in any way. Formal education removes originality, different ways to look at things, and basically ruins your ability to make original music. You learn how to play well, but you learn how to play just like everybody else do it. Now, I am sure an education is very useful, in fact, even necessary, if you want to play in some orchestra or something like that. But for a composer who intends to make music for a living, nah. I might be wrong here, though. Even in the metal scene, people often claimed I held my pick the wrong way if they saw me playing the guitar, because they had been conditioned into thinking there was a right and wrong in music, when simply answered them that this is how I hold the pick. They were visibly troubled by it. It might not come as a surprise to you if I tell you that I never heard any music ever made by any of these guys. They probably all claim they are better guitar players than I ever was, though. The truth is that Burzum was indeed fairly original. Not everything was, and you can see clear influences there from untypical genres in this context. I was influenced more by classical music than by other metal, and more by Balalika than by other metal bands when it came to how I played the guitar. And there is nothing wrong with that, of course. I did nothing wrong here. I just played music in a different way, and mixed it in a different way too. I specifically asked the sound technician for a more dynamic sound, exactly like they do for classical music recordings, instead of the more statically loud sound of metal productions. Also, I include non-metal music from the first album and onwards, not just as intros or outros, or as a background sound effect, but as actual tracks. Nobody else that I know of did that at the time. Now, nothing of this was particularly revolutionary when it came to music production, but it did make Burzum into something with a peculiar sound. And that was my objective after all. I can add that I am not under the impression that I did such a great job making music, but at least some people like it, and I'm perfectly okay with the fact that most people probably don't. Each to his own. I like it, so who cares what others think?